What happens if they actually go into Baltimore, despite all of the injuries that they've suffered, and maybe having to see a heavy dose of a guy like Craig Reynolds at running back? How high and how far can this team actually go?
Yeah, it's a great time, guys. First and foremost, I wake up today and what do I see? I see JMO at Little Caesars Arena, and his reaction from a football player was great. He's like, "Look at that! They scored a goal with nobody in net." He seemed excited, and he seemed to be in awe of what was going on. Seeing JMO hit the horn lit up the morning for me. It was great to see. Look, right now, Lions have taken over the country. People are talking about this 5-1 football team, especially when you see the massive block that Craig Reynolds threw. I talked to Tracy Walker about his booming hit against Chris Godwin, and you see a football team that I think that if they have a really good chance to defeat the Ravens. I think that they are a gritty football team, the Lions themselves, and I hope to see more of the Blue Sea out there at Baltimore. This team, guys, when you have a quarterback playing at the level of Jared Goff, you have an offensive line that's now ranked number 1 by PFF. You got a defensive line that's scary, led by Aiden Hutchinson, and an interior with Aleem McNeil and Isaiah Buggs, and a violent secondary that wants to lay the lumber on people. When you have those kind of pieces, and I think that there's a mindset that they truly believe it's Detroit versus everybody. When you have that mindset of, look what everybody thought about us in 2021. Look at the collection of talent. A lot of cast-offs, a lot of players on that roster that, like a Josh Reynolds, who people thought, oh, Josh Reynolds, you're just a number 2 or a number 3 receiver. You know, maybe you're just a guy that's a role player who some radio hosts just want to talk trash about. They look at that and they say, no, we can contribute. We can play at a very high level, and we can be – Josh Reynolds can be a guy that every time he touches the football, it's a first down or a touchdown. They can be a collection of guys that can come together where the entire whole is bigger than the sum of its parts. And I realized, man, this is a good football team. And if they can get to 6-1, now maybe you put another wrinkle, another valuable tape out there for Brad Holmes to maybe want to add more to this football team. So these next 2 games are huge, especially with the trade deadline looming.
And Lucas here, happy to have you back on the show. The ball knower, talking to another ball knower, of course. Looking at this Ravens offense, Lamar Jackson, the Lions obviously have struggled against mobile quarterbacks in the past. Now they have Justice Hill, Gus Edwards. I don't think they're going to have any trouble handling them, but then you kind of look. Mark Andrews, Lions kind of struggle against tight ends. Zay Flowers, a very explosive rookie who can do things after the catch, so if you miss a tackle, he can make you pay. And even a guy like Odell Beckham, a veteran. Who do you think needs to step up for this Lions defense in order for them to kind of contain Baltimore's offense and come out of there with the W?
Yeah, it's great. Dan Campbell was asked, how tough is it going to be to stop Lamar Jackson? First and foremost, you got to contain. You got to keep Lamar Jackson in that pocket. He is passing a little bit more, but he's still a 1,000-yard runner potentially, still a guy that's very athletic that can wreck a defense. So it's obviously, I think it's going to be key for those linebackers, Derek Barnes and Alex Anzalone, to continue to play at a high level. When you look at what the Lions have been able to do, Alex Anzalone's having a career year, flying around, breaking up plays. Really, I think what has happened is once he got his contract, he got more comfortable that, hey, I can be more comfortable to fly around to the football. I can play in coverage. I can be around and be somebody that can stop the football, run towards the quarterback. And I think that the pairing with Derek Barnes has really been something to look at. When you watch the film, you realize, oh my goodness, they set the tone for the defense. Outside of the linebackers, man, I want to see continued great play from Cam Sutton and Jerry Jacobs. I think the duo combined is really doing a lot of good things in regards to, okay, if they give up reception, they're tackling at a high level and not allowing significant amount of yards after the catch. So I look to the linebackers this week to have a solid performance and maybe even a breakout performance this week by Jack Campbell.